So here's the story about work. I was at work. That's step one. Step one is being there. Step two is fuck. Okay, so I was working at a concession stand in at a baseball stadium, and it was raining. We doesn't matter. We were inside, whatever. But it was raining. There weren't a lot of people like coming in and out, but it was enough to be like we still had to work. We couldn't leave early. Uh, anyway, so what we did was me and another like an old woman. We were just talking. It was a good time, whatever. And the floor was very sticky. And we're like, huh, the floor is very sticky. Something should be done about this. So something was done. I swept the floor and I mopped the floor. And I was like, should be good. Also, there was like a mouse or something that was like rummaging through some of the food stuff. So we had to put the food into coolers. We didn't know what the mice was. Why did I say mice? Mouse. Wow. Anyway, there was a mouse doing that. Jeez. Anyway, forgive me, but yeah, there was a mouse doing that, and it was rummaging through, and we didn't know where it was or where it came, what all that. So anyway, coolers swept and mopped the floor, yada yada yada, and I remopped the floor after a while because I was like, it should be done again. So I did, and then this guy, one of the supervisors, came in, and his name, for whatever reason, was Danger. So Danger came in. Danger was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, what's going on, man? And he's like, why is this floor sticky? And I'm like, I don't know. I mopped it. He's like, well, it's sticky. You need to mop it again. And it was by this point, it was like the last hour we were gonna be there. I'm like, fuck that. Like, it was like 10 minutes. I don't know. Basically, we were off within like the next few minutes. And I'm like, no, I am not doing that shit again. I mopped twice. The floor is still sticky after that. Not my problem. And so Danger was like, are you lying to me? No. Are you lying to me? Why would I be lying to you? I mopped the floor. And then the lady that was with me, she was like, yeah, he mopped the floor. I saw him. Are you lying to me now? No. He mopped the floor. Yeah, I mopped the floor. Did you mop the floor? I told you I did. I mopped it. And he's like, no, you didn't. You didn't mop it to me. You're lying to me. Why would you lie to me? I mopped it twice, you fucking idiot. So Danger was like just yelling at me, and he's like taking so much care not to curse. But he was just insulting me left and right, saying like how I'm a terrible worker and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there, and I wanted to go off on him and call him a piece of shit and just go off on how bad of a supervisor he was being. But I didn't, to his face at least. I was like, and I stood there with a blank fucking face. Oh, you're so terrible, you didn't even mop the floor. Which I did. But he's telling me this, right? And I'm like, and the entire time, two of his lackeys come over. One of them doesn't say shit because he's smart. The other one literally is right in my ear telling me, man, you know, that's your supervisor, man. He's your direct supervisor. You should be fired for not listening. I really just wanted to turn to that asshole and be like, shut the fuck up. But I didn't. So I wanted to keep my job. Which at this point was a part-time, and it was a seasonal job. It was ending in like a few weeks, like it was ending in like that week, so it didn't matter in the long run. But I still didn't want to be at anyone's bad side. So that being said, so Danger leaves, the other kids leave, the kid and the other guy, whatever, and they all leave. And we get someone else coming in, and so the other person is like really nice. She's like, what happened? And we're like, we mopped the floor twice, and Danger thinks we did, and then there's some commotion. And she's like, oh, can you do it again for me just cuz? And we're like, sure. Because, like, at that point, it wasn't a demand. It was, like, a person just saying, just to appease, just to be nice. Like, we were doing it for her, not for him, So I started to do it, and then I got told to go somewhere else, to another stand that I worked at before. I talked to the guy at the stand, and I'm like, hey, man, can I have some help over here? Because I think I need to get hot dogs. That was it. It's fucking hot dogs, whatever. So I'm like, can I go get some hot dogs? And, because I guess we ran out of some shit. So I went over to him and I'm like, hey man, hot dogs? And he's like, yeah. So we were walking over and I was telling him what happened with Danger. And he was like, this is bad. And also, yeah, he's not doing anything right. So we go there. He's like, oh, you're working at this stand. Yeah, we're working at this stand. The floors don't get cleaned. What? Like, you can mop the floor like 1,000 times and it won't be clean. You know that, right? I guess I do now. And he's like, yeah, they're sticky all the time. There's no way to clean them. It's impossible. And so, Danger's there for some reason, like, again, when we were about to walk in, and he's, like, going off on my coworker. And then he goes off on the other guy, the other stand manager, and he's like, I don't understand why this isn't clean. And the other guy's like, oh, and it's the funniest thing, because Danger turns to him and he's like, oh, someone with common sense. And the other guy's like, this can't be cleaned, right? And Danger's like, it has a fucking aneurysm. And he just gets all super mad. And it's like the funniest thing. And anyway, it's like the funniest fucking thing. Because he's like, what, you taking this right now? And the other guy's like, yeah, it's impossible to clean. You could clean it the entire night. Nothing's going to change. And Danger's like, then I'll make him clean it the entire night. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm fucking out of here. And then all this stuff happened. The Danger left. The lackey came back that was telling me, you should be fired. And he's like, this place is not clean. It's not spotless. And I'm like, it's clean. I cleaned it. And then, like, he finds, like, a random popcorn kernel on the ground. And he's like, do you call this clean? And he's, like, calling in, like, hey! On, like, the fucking public radio. He's like, hey, what are you doing? These people are telling me that this place is clean, but it's not clean. And then, like, my coworker that I'm with at the time, and another one comes in. And we're both like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. You've been working here literally one day, kid. Get the fuck out. And he's like, yeah. It's like trying to tattletale, but he's using the fucking public line instead of the directly to supervisor line. We're like, go away. So, my night ends with me being like, that was, for lack of a better word, that's fucking gay. So, we get to a point where it's like the next fucking week. I don't know. Basically, at this point, I had been filming some shit, like crewing and stuff, and I had no sleep the entire. Like, I was at the point where I'd been up for like 30 hours or whatever, and I go into work, like, about to throw up, feeling like everything's like de-realityized, feeling derealization. That's the word. Derealization. Like, I'm out of reality because I'm so goddamn tired. I'm about to pass out whenever at any point. But I still go to work. And I get there. And the stand that I'm at is a stand where the cash registers don't work sometimes. Meaning you have to put like a thing, like a paper towel or whatever, like a little cloth, in between the cash register, because if you close it all the way, you can't get it open without a key. And usually the cash register's there, you like, boop, and the thing comes out. You press like hot dog, right? And then the drawer slides open. Couldn't do that here. Couldn't fucking do that here. So we had 3 cash registers that didn't work. And like one new guy that like never had done it before. It was like his first day. So I'm like, okay. And the cash register, like, oh, we need a key for it, but you can't get a key because there's like 5 or 6 fucking cash registers at one point. And if anyone who like closes the drawer needs a key, they have to ask. And sometimes the person who has the key is working another cash register, and she can't go get it because then the customer, all that. So we're basically like, this sucks. This very much sucks, and I hate it. And Danger comes in because we call him in or whatever. I don't know. I hate him. Anyway, but we call him in, and he's like, hey, and he just walks over to me, and it had been like maybe a week or so, like 4 days, I don't know. 4 days? A week? Whatever. But it had been a tiny bit since we saw each other, but like not enough for him to like not hate me. Neither of us forgot, so he was like at me, and I was just like, what? So got to a point where Danger was like, hey, the cash registers, close them anyway. We're like, dude, we can't close them. Like, we literally can't. Like, everyone in the entire, like, not just me, no, everyone in the stand was like, hey, look, we can't close the cash registers because then we can't open them without the key. And he's like, then use the key. Don't understand. There are like 3 of the cash registers aren't working. Then use the key for all of them. I don't understand. Do you know someone who has a key? She has a key. She's working the cash registers too. She can't get everyone at once. We need to call someone in. We're gonna call someone. And it's not gonna be helpful because they're gonna be on the other side of the fucking stadium. And he's like, I don't know, just don't call me. And then one of my coworkers, the one that's new, is like, hey, I don't understand. What are we doing? What are we doing? And I'm like, okay, so you gotta take like this cash register. You gotta take the cash register. You gotta take the drawer. You gotta put a little thing in the drawer so it doesn't close all the way. Now, if you absolutely have to close it, make sure you get a key. Otherwise, don't close it all the way. It's not like the customer can like jump over the counter to like find the money. We're all gonna be out here. It's a big counter. There's no reason to not keep it slightly open so you can actually get to the money. And Danger's like, that's a stupid idea. I'm like, why? And he's like, you know, you can leave. I'm like, what? You can leave now. You can go somewhere else. Like another stand. What? Yeah, there's too many people here. You can leave. Like, I'm the only one there with common sense. Being like, hey, make sure you do this. Like, I'm giving people advice. I'm helping out. And he's like, you don't need to be here. And I'm like, fine, whatever. So I'm leaving. And he's like, you need to go to this stand, or this stand, or this stand. He gives me 3 options. He's like, go first base or third base or home plate. I don't give a shit. Just go. Because he's retarded. So, not retarded. That's a bad word. But in the sense of he's very fucking stupid. That kind of. So, anyway. Yeah. So, at that point, he's like, hey, yeah, go. And I'm like, all right. So, here's this is me, right? That's me, right? I'm walking. Oh, sorry. I'm walking. I'm like, and I'm walking to the warehouse. The warehouse is where you get your papers and shit, and like, you get like told where to go. You get told where to go because like the nice lady at the warehouse is like, she checks who's working where, and she's like, you go here, you go here, you go here. So I start to walk out, thinking everything's fine, and still being tired out of my wits, feeling like everything's a dream, but knowing just enough in like knowing how to do things, you know, being sociable enough to function and to get through my day. So I go to the warehouse, and Danger's following me, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what the fuck are you following me? And I get to the warehouse, and he's like, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to go somewhere else. Does it look like I'm somewhere else? Because I think I fucking am. And he's like, no, you need to go to third base. I told you to go to center plate. I told you to go to home plate. I told you to go to third. I'm like, dude, you told me to go to 3 different places. Yeah, so why didn't you go there? I'm going to the warehouse so I can get told where to go. I don't know where to go because I told you where to go. That's the problem I have with you is you're always complaining, and I'm not complaining at all. You're always not following directions. You don't understand how to follow directions. You're not a good worker. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm following your goddamn instructions. Where is it getting me? Nowhere. No, fuck this. I'm out. So I walk out. I'm like, fuck you, fuck this, I'm out. I didn't curse as much as, that's all exaggerated. But I basically just said, no, I'm following your directions. You're not giving any good directions. And you're a terrible supervisor. So I walk out. And one of the good coworkers, another one, comes up. She's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, I'm done. So I just leave and I go home and I'm like, fuck this. And then I had work like the next few days and I didn't go because I was like, I didn't want to see that asshole. And I go to work the very last day. He's not there the last day. The good supervisor is, as in like the one that initially hired me like last year or whatever when I first went. And I'm like, hey, can I tell you something about danger? And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. And apparently, I told her everything that I just explained. Apparently, he had been an asshole, like, to everyone all the time. It wasn't just me. It was, like, multiple cases of fucking bullshit. So, last thing that she says to me is, yeah, so, hopefully, she says that, she said he's on the list of not coming back, next year. And she's like, hopefully you come back, and hopefully he doesn't, because he's on the list of not coming back, because he's an asshole. And I'm like, poetic justice. And, yeah.